What's up, everyone? Davram from Davram Gaming, and today I want to talk to you about a new game that I've been streaming on twitch.tv/DavramTV, and it's a really cool game. You can see it here on Steam. It is free to play, and right now, for a limited time, you also get one DLC, which is a $15 value, absolutely free, but you have to sign up and play the game like now in order to get that DLC, or at least add it to your Steam purchases, and you'll get to get that free DLC. But that's not going to last forever. It will go up to $14.99. So if you're interested in this game, make sure you check that out. And there will be a link in the description box below that's a referral code from me, and we'll get in-game loot together if you use the referral code, and I'll be much appreciated if you do. But this game is a deck builder game, similar to those like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, but it also has kind of a tower defense twist, kind of like a Clash of Clans, if you're familiar with that on mobile. It's got many different game modes. It's a lot of fun, and it's easy to pick up if you're relatively new to the game. Like I said, if you get the DLC, you get some free stuff, which really makes you competitive right off the bat. It has a very small learning curve, and it's really cool as well. And if you also like watching streamers, you can link your Twitch TV account, YouTube and Mixer coming shortly, and you'll get free loot if you're watching the streamer and they win. So it's really cool. It's definitely a game that I strongly suggest. Again, it's free to play. There are microtransactions. Some people argue it's pay to win. I've played pay-to-win games. This is not pay-to-win at all. You can put money into the game, and we'll look at the store once we get into the game, and there are some options to purchase certain things, but there's very few options to purchase specific things, and that's why I don't agree that it's pay-to-win. You can definitely pay into the game. I mean, we are in 2019, so microtransactions are very much a part of our world, but pay-to-win, I think that's a stretch. So let's go ahead and jump into the game, and we'll take a look at the UI, we'll take a look at the different game mode options, and then we'll show some of the actual gameplay itself. So here we are inside the game, and as you can see, I've been watching some Twitch streamers, including streaming it myself, and as soon as I log in, we've got Twitch drops, which again, right now, the reward you're getting is 10 gold per win that they get. So as you can see, when you log in, there's a lot of loot that you can claim. So we're going to skip through this, and I'll see you on the other side once we get through all this loot. Oh my god, the money! Alright, so we're back, and the first thing we see when we log in is a news page. It gives us a lot of information about the game, including the 1.1. Again, this game just launched officially, so this is 1.0. We have 1.1 right here as far as the patch updates. As we can see, 1.0 right there. So the game just launched. For those of you who are artists, there's an art contest going on in their Discord right now to potentially win the pay currency, which is rubies, 5,000 of them. Talks about the changes they made to Twitch drops because they were a bit OP. We have a new master coming. The masters are your characters in the game, coming in 16 days. And then some free stuff, including subscribing to their newsletter, their Discord, and things like that. So if we click through this, we can see the beginning UI. Our deck is across the top, which I can see this deck is not even completed fully. We've got an open slot. We can see where we are right now on our battle pass. We can see our current solos rank, or whichever rank we are currently playing in. We can see our currency and things across the bottom. And it's just a lot of things to kind of take in. So I'll kind of hit some of the highlights. We do have the leaderboard if you would like to see the top leaderboards currently going on in the world, from single player 1v1, team battles, pre-made team battles, which is what I'm kind of focusing on quite a bit, and then we can also see the top guilds. For the guilds, if you're interested in joining, the guild we do have here is the Game Legion Guild. I got a couple of my viewers who's already joined in the guild, and the really cool thing about the guild is you win stuff. You win stuff because every few days this resets, and then the entire season of the guild ends in 35 days. You get bonuses for using certain cards, and based on how high your guild levels up, you can get all the way up to 2 legendary cards. So it's a really cool thing, especially for communities and things like that. Pay no attention to the the global chat. Sometimes it gets a little spammy, so pay no attention to there. So the different play modes that we have here, we've got the battle, which is a 1v1. We've got the team battle, which is a 2v2. Now this can also be randomized, so if you don't have a partner to play with, you can just queue up and get a random person. Sometimes that gets a little sketchy, but you can also play with your friends this way. We do have the draft mode, which is very popular, obviously, if you play Magic the Gathering, where you enter a draft mode, you select a champion in the draft mode, and then you build a deck based on, there's our champions that we can select. We select one, and then we go through actually drafting a deck. We get 3 cards at a time until we fill up our entire deck, and then we, play until we get 3 losses. We have challenges, which I've completed them all. This is what I can consider the continuation of the tutorial. When you first start playing, it'll walk you through how to play the game, how to build a deck, things like that. And then you can go to the beginner, the medium, and then the expert level. And if you beat all the bosses on all those levels, you do get a chest with some cards in it. We have the expedition, which is really cool. This is kind of an interesting play style, but you do get rewards for beating the selected bosses, including a seasonal card, and you also get 600 gold. But if we jump in here and take a look, it's almost like a tabletop board game. You move around this board. The bosses that you need to kill are across the top, but you have to find them here. They're not just going to show you where they are. So you've got to find the bosses here, and then they've got a nice little gold mine behind them. If you beat the 3 selected bosses, you get your rewards, which again, a random seasonal card of a random quality, and also 600 gold. So definitely cool there. We have the Mayhem, which I have not got to play Mayhem yet. As you can see, they are locked down for a couple days. These type of events, from the Guild Conquest to the Expeditions to the Mayhem, they only unlock every so many days, so make sure you get in there and do your events because, they lock. As far as our heroes, these are our different heroes, each of them with 3 different abilities. And just like, say, a game like League of Legends, you are going to have free weekly champions. So we have Nightbringer. He is a ranged attacker, and his abilities increase your ranged units. You get your abilities, we'll see that in the game based on bridge control of the game. You get experience, you level up, and you unlock your 3 perks. We have Volko, who is a fire-based, he only can hit melee hero. And again, he has 3 abilities here which buff your units. You can set bridges on fire, and you get free fireballs. Free 60 damage if you can control the bridge that he has marked. You have Mordor, our skeleton. He is actually really, really cool. He gives you the ability to summon tombstones, which, once the tombstone is full of energy, will resurrect the next friendly unit that dies. So you can really chain some of your big guys together if you're really good at timing the tombstones. We have Ravager. Ravager is a nasty beast that can slash any enemy in melee range at your base. And his perks, he summons Brutus. Brutus is a big, nasty beast. The first one's not too big. It's only 800 hit points. Then he gives all of your units Frenzy, 50% movement speed and attack speed once they go below 50% health. So you can do some really cool things with werewolves there, because werewolves will trigger once someone hits 50%, and then they're nasty beasts. And once they hit 50%, they get frenzy and get really nasty. So there's some fun stuff you can do there. And then his ultimate is he summons Terror Brutus, which is 2,000 hit points, really nasty, really, really nasty. So Ravager is kind of cool in that aspect. We've got Ratbo, the Scrat leader, and he summons Scrats as you level up, and he also uses his chain gun on one of his perks. So really cool dude there. the cutie of the game, King Puff. King Puff is a really cool guy. You'll notice that Puffs are kind of the cute little, really weak units in this game, but they do some pretty cool things. But Puff has the ability to swap sides of the bridge. He's got the ability to give rage and shield to certain cards, and he also has the ability to move the marks of different champions on the bridges. So that's pretty cool as well. We have a Pep. A Pep is a snake. He looks kind of cool, but he gives you a random card and reduces its mana cost to make it free on his first perk. He has the ability to make your base invulnerable for a limited amount of time while a totem is up, and then he also has another ability to give you a 4 mana cost card for free. We have Setsu, basically a space marine. If you're a fan of like Warhammer or StarCraft. This character is actually really neat. Ranged character with a gun, does have some reload time, but has the ability to actually enter the battlefield. She can take off and land on the battlefield and become a unit. Any damage she suffers on the battlefield does not affect your base, however, but she does become a pretty powerful unit. We have Milloween, who is our elven queen. She has the ability to summon this kind of arcane scarab turret thing that bumbles and rumbles across the field, shooting both air and land. She has arcane missiles, which shoots a whole bunch of missiles at one single unit. If that unit dies, it hits the other units around them, and she can also cast that on the enemy base. And then the arcane golem, the rumble bumble crab guy, becomes a bit bigger on her final perk. And then we have Diona. Diona is like the Diablo demon on her 2 crossbows and her little corgi pup. And she can set traps on the ground to do different things like shoot air units through the crossbow trap or decoy trap to taunt units. She does get to play fetch with the little corgi pup, and he'll run out and grab little potion bottles on the ground. If he survives, kill the pup if you don't want him to get the potion bottles. Things like giving her 2 mana, 3 XP, or 250 health based on what type of potion spawns when she kills a minion on the ground. And then finally she gets another trap card to her deck. All of these champions do have different skins, but these skins are not purchasable immediately. You have to get them each week. The skin that's available resets, so you have to get the skin that you want when it is available. You can also change the different types of arenas you fight in. These are unlocks as well. If you are a streamer, most likely you will have this when you're streaming because your viewers will sit in the stands as they chat. One note, as we can see right now, the servers do have some issues. They do have some issues going on right now. A lot of fixes are going to be put into place when 1.0 or 1.1 comes through. And look, we got a little bit more loot when 1.1 comes through. But there are some server issues. Bear with them. Bear with them. Okay, so next thing we can take a look at is the shop itself. So as we can see the featured offers right now. This is where you can get some skins. We've got a couple different skins for a couple of the different characters. We can get some package deals, which gives us some different cards that we may want. Ooh, this is actually a really good pack right there. This is kind of your pay to win, as everyone says, but it's really not, because you can only buy them when these are in. And then again, you can buy cards themselves. However, as you can see, they're unknown. You don't know what cards you're going to get. So you can buy the season tokens and get a chance to get certain cards. I'll take my free shards though. So that's that. Now our currency in the bottom corner of the screen down here, we have rubies, crystals, and gold itself. You can use the gold to purchase what are called power tokens, which we're going to buy one right now so we can take a look at how we get cards. We use these power tokens on the Power of Tower, the Tower of Power, whatever you want to call it. We have a multiple cards in the pack, and it will land on one single card of different rarity, and that's what we get. So we got a copy of Plasma Marines, which are a 2-team Marine set that shoots air and land. If we look at the deck builder itself, we've got multiple deck slots. I've got 5 different pages. I don't use them all. But if we look at the different decks, we can see our current deck across the top. The stars, as we can see, we got on our Space Marines, these stars in the bottom corner of the card, this one has 12, add up to your glory rank for your deck. Now, why that's important, the higher glory rank you have on your deck, the more Battle Pass experience you get. Now, that's not to say the best decks are going to be the ones with the highest glory. You want a good deck that works well together and gels together to get the wins. It's better to have a 1266 deck that wins every single time or a high percentage time than to have a 2000 deck that you win one every so often, because you're going to lose more, you're going to lose, your rank really quickly. So it's very important to make sure you have a solid deck, not necessarily the high glory deck. As we can see, I don't have nearly all the cards, but as you can see, there's a wide variety of cards, and many of them have different types of allegiances. So we'll look here. Battle Shihu, he is a Zen Chi minion, and this card, the Legionnaires, is an Empyrean minion. You can actually notice as you look through some of these cards, they will actually build on each other. So for example, the Accursed or the Skeleton minions, most of the time will have something called Spectral Essence, which builds and builds and builds, and eventually you can unlock some large ability, such as the Dragon Breath spell, if I can find it here. I have so many cards, and I lose track of the ones that I'm wanting to show. I think this was a 6 mana cost card. Why can't I find it? Oh, it was because it was a temporary card. Each time the guild event re-happens, you get some new temporary cards that you can use, expires in 2 days. But once you get so many essences, 20 to be exact, certain spells will unlock new abilities. For example, Toll of the Dead, if you have 20 essences, it'll resurrect the skeletons that have died from Toll of the Dead. So different things like that. You get some different cool things. So sometimes stacking different types of minions are really, really important. For example, there is a card right here that if a Voidborn has done damage to an enemy base, it spawns in with Rage and will give other minions Rage. So you want to make sure you've got other Voidborn in your deck, so if they do damage, it triggers this one's ability. So there's a lot of combos you can build in here, and if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, tribal decks are key in this game. They have built this game around tribal decks, not to say that tribal decks are the end-all be-all, however, they're very, very, very good. Some other things, there are definitely some achievements that unlock some stuff. There are daily quests that you'll get when they reset. But overall, there's a lot of potential to this game. And right now, they're trying to build a strong community with content creators, specifically right now on Twitch, but YouTube and Mixer coming shortly. So make sure you dive in, get the game, link your Twitch account, which is really simple. All that you have to do is go to the menu, Stream Boost, connect your Twitch account, and you get access to all the cool drops inside the game when you're watching the streamer. Even if you're just lurking, I'll have a stream up, cleaning the house or at work, and I'll be getting those loot drops all day. So let's dive into some gameplay so you can guys actually see how this game plays. All right, so let's take a look at the gameplay. So right now my deck is consistent of several creatures which buff each other based on rage. My hero on his second perk actually can burn bridges. His third perk actually gives all friendly melee units rage. So if I get the third perk, all my minions kind of trigger off of each other, specifically these last two, which get rage if something else has rage on the field. We have shielded crossbowmen for anti-air. We have a stealth dragon who does triple damage coming out of stealth and will re-stealth if nothing kills it. We have our other dragon who gets more powerful if they cast a spell. We have Chain Lightning, which is a very critical spell right now, which you'll see that. And then also a card that I've been putting in most of my decks, which I haven't been seeing a lot of other people do. It's Hypnosis. It will actually take control over after a couple seconds in an AoE. All the enemy creatures in that area for a few seconds. It's really great to kind of start to clear the board, take control of their units while they're trying to defend the base, and it's just a really nice card to try to shift the battlefield in your favor. This is kind of the first playthrough of this deck. I've made a couple adjustments to it. We are currently Gold 4. I've been playing a lot of partner battles, which, as you can see, in my, well, that one shows I'm the lowest here, but in my pre-made battles, I am almost master rank. I think I'm Plat 1. Grandmaster is obviously the highest, which gives you the world ranking. So we're much higher in 2v2s, which is what I've been playing a lot of on stream. So let's just go ahead and enter the queue. The really nice thing about this game is, as you can see, the queue times are pretty quick because a lot of people are playing this game right now. So definitely really cool. So we're going against King Puff here. As we can see, our arena, 2 bridges. You can summon anything on your side of the bridge unless it's a specific spell. So he's playing a lot of little swarm creatures, which this deck can handle decently just because of our hero. And it's also very important. You don't always just want to spend your mana willy-nilly to get a whole bunch of mobs on the field. Because, as you can see, mana generates at a not exactly a quick rate. So you want to make sure you're methodically thinking through your plays before you play them. That way you're making intelligent decisions. Now, right now, I don't really have a lot of things on the battlefield that can take care of that, so I did have to go through a couple creatures that I didn't want to. Right now, we just unlocked perk 1. At the top of the screen, you can see the experience bars going up based on experience. When you have bridge control, that's when you can actually see if you're gaining the experience or whatnot. So, and again, your life totals are on either side of the board. As you can see, some creatures are obviously stronger than others. Some of the bigger, tougher creatures, though, have a hard time dealing with a lot of small minions. So you saw I kind of flooded around that one big guy who has a really strong swing, but also has an issue with killing lots of little dudes. There was Chain Lightning. As you can see, it bounces from target to target. You can get some really good Chain Lightning, especially right here. I could, if I still had Chain Lightning available to me, I could wipe out that entire little army in one spell. Some decks are definitely heavily focused on the late game. This deck that I'm facing seems to be very focused on not dying to air, which kind of hurts because a couple of my big guys are definitely air cards, which is definitely crappy. But it is what it is. It's how it goes. King Puff can't attack air, as you can see. The nice part is they can't attack when I am invisible, though. Sometimes these games go really quickly. There's a daily quest that sometimes pops up for winning a game in less than 3 minutes. Some games I've played as quick as a minute and a half. Some games are going as long as 10 minutes. So it just depends on how close your decks counter each other. Really depends on things. Now, I am playing Volko, which means when I have the bridge with the hammer marked, as you can see in the bottom bridge, I am shooting a 60 damage firebolt at my opponent every single time I cast a card when I have that bridge. However, we are not doing so well as far as the life totals here, but that's how it goes when you're playing a deck who's very anti-air and your 2 biggest, attackers are air. That's just how it goes. There's not much you can do about it. Fire gush forth. Bridge control is obviously very important. As you can see, though we got the first perk pretty quickly, he has quickly brought his experience back into the fold as far as where he needs to be caught back up with me. If you complete all 4 perks, you basically have ridiculous mana generation, real quick mana regeneration. So usually, and that's kind of a time gate for the game, if you get to that point where you have that ridiculous of mana generation, the idea, of course, is that, just in the game, right? So as you can see, they casted a spell while my dragon was live. So that means he got rage, and he also got a shield. So he did quite a bit of damage to their turret right there, which was really, really nice. I kind of needed that. We're now getting a good push on their side. And kind of closing out the game. They just cast another spell, as you can see, so my dragon is, again, very ragey, and we're slowly but surely right now closing out the game with our dragon. He may actually close out the game right here. He might not. No, he didn't. But he's very tanky, very ragey. I'm hoping that I get a point where I can summon something decently big here. My 6-drop would be really nice to get in there. Or if he summons something like that, I'm just going to go ahead and mind control them, and this can potentially end the game. So as you can see, 4 minutes and 54 seconds, and the game is over. So quick game. That was the 1v1, obviously. Different deck combinations that you can do. Different fun things like spoofing the opponent with a big mob that's really fake, and then hitting them with the other big mob that's real, so they don't know which one's coming at them. But really cool. We're level 36 right now. We're obviously gold 4, working our way up on solo play. So yeah, that's the basic gameplay. Quick game. You can, obviously make deck changes and things like that. But really quick game. A lot of fun if you enjoy tower defense, Clash of Clans, and trading card games, because it kind of mixes a little bit of both in there. So if you like that style game, definitely check it out. Like I said, the reference link will be in the description below to sign up, and so we can both get loot. And remember, for a limited time right now, you get the DLC that's a $15 value for free when you get this game with the referral link and through Steam. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see many, many, many of you on Minion Masters in the coming time. Remember, if you would like to join a guild and help us progress to get more and more cards each and every week, check out Game Legion. Search for Game Legion in your North America or any region. Find us, hit the invite, I'll approve you. Guys, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you next time.